The spark ignited, awakening to the lost essence. Imagine, if you will, a vast, ancient forest at the break of dawn. The first rays of the sun pierce through the canopy, illuminating a single, majestic oak tree that has stood for centuries. Its roots delve deep into the earth, drawing sustenance from hidden springs, while its branches reach toward the heavens, yearning for light. But in this forest, there is a hidden thief. A subtle wind that whispers through the leaves, carrying away the tree's vital sap, drop by drop. Each droplet falls to the ground, lost forever, nourishing nothing but the barren soil. The tree weakens, its bark cracks, its leaves wither, and its once mighty form bends under the weight of emptiness. This, dear seeker, is the story of your life force. The sacred essence within you, squandered in moments of fleeting pleasure, leaving you diminished, disconnected, and adrift in a world that demands your full power. Every drop you waste is a spark of your destiny lost to the void. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world sleeps and your mind races, have you ever felt that hollow ache? That sense of something profound slipping away, like sand through your fingers? This is the call of your inner alchemist, urging you to reclaim what is rightfully yours. Welcome to the journey of semen retention, not as a cage of denial, but as the forge of transformation. It is the art of turning base impulses into golden vitality, of harnessing the raw power of creation that resides in every man. This path is ancient, whispered in the scrolls of Taoists who guarded their Jing as the essence of life. In the Vedic texts where Ojas is revered as the luminous force of immortality. And in the tantric temples where sexual energy is elevated to divine union. Yet, it speaks directly to the modern soul, entangled in the webs of porn addiction, chronic stress, and the relentless grind of disconnection. Picture yourself in the midst of a bustling city, the neon lights flickering like false promises. You're scrolling endlessly through screens that bombard you with images designed to hijack your primal urges. One click leads to another, and before you know it, hours have vanished, leaving you drained, foggy-headed, and questioning your purpose. This is the epidemic of our time, the silent siphoning of vital energy through habitual release. Semen retention invites you to pause, to breathe, to redirect that force inward. It is not suppression which breeds resentment and shadow. It is sublimation, the alchemical process of refining fire into light. As the Taoist sages taught, Jing, the seminal essence, is the foundation of Qi, life energy, and Shen, spirit. Waste it, and you deplete your very core. Conserve it, and you build a reservoir of power that fuels every aspect of your being. Let us delve into the origins of this wisdom. In ancient China, over 2 millennia ago, the Yellow Emperor consulted with the Plain Girl, a mythical advisor on sexual alchemy. She revealed that a man who masters his essence can live in harmony with the Tao, extending his years and amplifying his strength. The superior man conserves his Jing, she counseled, transforming it into vitality that nourishes the body and awakens the mind. Similarly, in the Ayurvedic traditions of India, Ojas is described as the subtle energy derived from proper digestion and retention of vital fluids. It is the glow in your eyes, the strength in your step, the unshakable calm in your heart. When depleted through excessive indulgence, Ojas wanes, leading to fatigue, anxiety, and disease. Tantra, the path of sacred sexuality, takes this further, viewing sexual energy not as sin but as Shakti, the divine feminine force that, when united with Shiva, consciousness, ignites enlightenment. But why does this matter now, in an era of instant gratification and digital distractions? Consider the story of Alex, a young professional in his late 20s, much like many you might know, or perhaps like yourself. Alex was climbing the corporate ladder, but each day felt like wading through molasses. Mornings blurred into afternoons of caffeine-fueled haze, evenings dissolved into solitary sessions of pornography that promised escape, but delivered only guilt and exhaustion. I felt like a ghost in my own life, he would later reflect. Relationships fizzled, creativity stalled, and a nagging emptiness gnawed at his soul. One fateful night, scrolling through forums in search of answers, he stumbled upon the concept of semen retention. Skeptical at first, he decided to experiment. 30 days without release. What unfolded was nothing short of a rebirth. In those initial weeks, Alex noticed subtle shifts. His energy levels surged. No longer did he crash mid-afternoon, craving naps or stimulants. This is the biological spark igniting, the first whisper of transformation. Scientifically, semen is a nutrient-dense fluid packed with proteins, enzymes, vitamins like zinc and magnesium, and hormones such as testosterone. Each ejaculation expels not just fluid, but a concentrated dose of your body's resources. Studies from modern endocrinology reveal that abstaining from ejaculation for even a week can boost testosterone levels by up to 45%, enhancing muscle repair, fat metabolism, and overall vigor. Think of it as compound interest for your vitality, retain, and the body reinvests, fortifying your immune system, sharpening your focus, and balancing your hormones. Hormone balance is key here. In a world rife with endocrine disruptors, from plastics to processed foods, semen retention acts as a natural reset. Cortisol, the stress hormone that ravages your adrenals, begins to stabilize as dopamine pathways recalibrate. No longer hijacked by the highs and crashes of porn-induced release, your brain chemistry shifts towards sustained motivation. Neuroscientists have observed that frequent ejaculation correlates with desensitized reward centers akin to addiction cycles in substance abuse. Retention breaks this loop, fostering neuroplasticity where new habits of discipline take root. Yet, this is merely the surface. As we journey deeper, the psychological layers unfold. But for now, in this awakening phase, let us linger on the metaphors that bridge ancient and modern. Your sexual energy is like a river. Allowed to flood unchecked, it erodes the banks of your life, leaving devastation. Channeled wisely, it irrigates fields of creativity, carves canyons of purpose, and sustains ecosystems of connection. In the tantric view, this energy is the kundalini serpent coiled at the base of your spine, waiting to rise. Modern challenges amplify its urgency. The isolation of remote work, the superficiality of social media swipes, the burnout from hustle culture, all symptoms of leaked essence. Recall the myth of Prometheus, bound to a rock for stealing fire from the gods. Each day, an eagle devours his liver, which regenerates overnight. Eternal torment from unchecked loss. Your indulgences are that eagle, pecking at your regenerative power. Semen retention frees you from the chains, allowing the fire to burn within, illuminating paths once shrouded in darkness. It's the story of the prodigal son, returning home to reclaim his inheritance, not through prodigality, but through wise stewardship. As you embark on this path, resistance may arise. The mind, conditioned by years of habit, whispers temptations. But herein lies the beauty. Retention is devotion, a sacred vow to yourself. It's the warrior's discipline, the artist's muse, the seeker's prayer. In the words of a modern practitioner, I went from chasing highs to embodying presence. Energy once scattered now coalesces, forging a magnetic aura that draws opportunities and authentic bonds. Let us ground this in a guided visualization. Close your eyes, if you can, and breathe deeply. Feel the warmth at your core, that primal fire. With each inhale, draw it upward, from the root to the crown. Exhale the doubts, the distractions. This is the essence of transmutation. turning leaden urges into golden will. Ancient Taoists practiced big draw techniques, contracting muscles to circulate Jing upward. Modern biohackers echo this with cold showers and intermittent fasting, amplifying the effects. But transformation demands awareness of pitfalls. Porn addiction, that digital siren, lures with illusions of connection, but severs you from real intimacy. Stress, the silent assassin, amplifies leaks through nocturnal emissions or compulsive behaviors. Emptiness, born of disconnection from self and source, fills with fleeting fixes. Retention addresses these at the root, rebuilding from within. As part 1 draws to a close, remember, this is your awakening. The spark is ignited, the essence calls to be reclaimed. In the parts to follow, we delve into the biology that revitalizes your vessel, the psychology that sharpens your mind, the spirituality that elevates your soul, and the tools that empower your mastery. For now, commit to this truth. You are not a victim of your urges. You are the alchemist of your fate. Every moment of retention is a step toward the divine human you were born to be. The vessel replenished, biological foundations of vitality, the forest of your being, once dimmed by the thief of lost essence, now stirs with a quiet promise. The ancient oak, its roots rediscovering the hidden springs, begins to pulse with life. The sap, no longer squandered, flows upward, nourishing branches that stretch toward the light. This is the vessel of your body, reclaiming its vitality through the sacred practice of semen retention. Here, in the second chapter of our cinematic journey, we delve into the biological alchemy that transforms raw energy into physical power, hormonal harmony, and radiant health. This is not mere abstinence. It is the art of replenishing the vessel that carries your spirit through the world. Ancient wisdom and modern science converge, revealing how conserving your essence rebuilds your foundation, fortifying every cell, every muscle, every breath. Picture a riverbed, cracked and parched under a relentless sun. For years, its waters have spilled carelessly, leaving only dust. Now, imagine a dam carefully constructed, not to hoard, but to channel the flow, creating a reservoir that irrigates fields, powers turbines, and restores life. Semen retention is that dam. Your sexual energy, when retained, becomes a reservoir of biological wealth, fueling systems that modern life often depletes. In the Taoist tradition, this essence is called Jing, the primal substance of life, stored in the kidneys, the root of vitality. The Huangdi Neijing, the ancient Chinese medical text, declares, "To preserve Jing is to preserve life, to waste it is to invite decay." Similarly, Ayurveda speaks of Ojas, the luminous sap of health, built through disciplined retention and proper nourishment. These traditions, thousands of years old, align with what science now confirms. Your seminal fluid is a treasure trove of nutrients, hormones, and energy, and its conservation rewires your body for resilience. Let us begin with the science, grounding the ancient in the measurable. Semen is no ordinary fluid. Each ejaculation releases approximately 2 to 5 milliliters of semen, containing millions of sperm cells, but its potency lies beyond reproduction. It is a complex matrix of proteins, enzymes, fructose, zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, and hormones like testosterone and prostaglandins. A single ejaculation expends an estimated 15-30 calories, but the energetic cost runs deeper. Producing semen demands significant resources from your body: zinc for sperm motility, proteins for seminal plasma, and energy for cellular replication. Zinc, for instance, is critical for immune function, DNA synthesis, and testosterone production. Yet a single release can deplete up to 5 milligrams of this vital mineral, roughly half the daily recommended intake. Magnesium, essential for muscle function and nervous system regulation, follows suit, Over time, habitual loss drains these reserves, manifesting as fatigue, weakened immunity, or dulled cognition. Now, consider retention. Studies in endocrinology reveal that abstaining from ejaculation for just 7 days can increase testosterone levels by up to 45.7%, as shown in a 2003 study published in the Journal of Endocrinology. Testosterone, the hormone of vigor, drives muscle growth, fat metabolism, and bone density. It sharpens your drive, not just sexually but in ambition and focus. By day 14 of retention, cortisol, the stress hormone that erodes muscle and spikes anxiety, begins to stabilize. This hormonal harmony creates a feedback loop. More testosterone enhances energy, which reduces stress, which further optimizes hormone production. Your body, once a leaking vessel, becomes a sealed crucible, concentrating its power. This biological shift is palpable. Take the story of Michael, a 34-year-old software developer who felt trapped in a cycle of lethargy. Long hours at his desk, fueled by energy drinks and takeout, left him sluggish, his joints aching, his sleep erratic. Pornography was his nightly escape, a ritual that promised relief but delivered exhaustion. Inspired by a podcast on biohacking, Michael committed to 30 days of semen retention. By week 2, he noticed a surge in morning energy, no longer needing triple espressos to start his day. His gym sessions, once a chore, became exhilarating. Weights felt lighter, recovery faster. Blood work later confirmed his testosterone had risen significantly, and his fasting glucose levels, previously borderline, normalized. "It's like my body woke up," he said. "I was running on fumes and now I'm fully charged." This recharge extends to the brain. Your nervous system, often frazzled by modern overstimulation, thrives on retention. Semen contains nerve growth factor, NGF, a protein that supports neuron repair and growth. Frequent ejaculation depletes NGF, contributing to brain fog and reduced resilience. Retention, conversely, preserves this resource, enhancing neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections. A 2018 study in Neuroscience Letters linked higher testosterone levels to improved cognitive function, particularly in spatial reasoning and memory. Practitioners of retention often report sharper focus, quicker decision-making, and a calm alertness that feels like unlocking a hidden gear. This is the brain, bathed in its own regenerative elixir, operating at peak capacity. Let us weave back to the ancients. In Taoist alchemy, the kidneys are the water element, housing Jing and governing vitality, reproduction, and longevity. Excessive ejaculation, they warned, scatters Jing, weakening the kidneys and, by extension, the entire body. Taoist practices like Qigong and Neidan, inner alchemy, emphasize circulating this energy upward through the spine, nourishing organs and awakening higher faculties. The microcosmic orbit, a meditative practice, visualizes Jing rising from the sacral region to the brain, transforming raw vitality into refined qi. Modern science echoes this indirectly. The spine, rich in cerebrospinal fluid, is a highway for nutrients and signals. Retention supports this flow, reducing inflammation and enhancing neural communication. Ayurveda offers a parallel lens. Ojas, the essence of vitality, is built through disciplined lifestyle, proper diet, sleep, and retention of vital fluids. The Karaka Samhita, a foundational Ayurvedic text, describes ojas as the highest essence of the body's tissues, manifesting as radiant skin, strong immunity, and mental clarity. Deplete ojas through overindulgence, and you invite ama, toxins that cloud the body and mind. Retention, paired with sattvic, pure. Foods like ghee, almonds, and fresh vegetables amplifies ojas, creating what practitioners call the glow. Modern nutrition science supports this. Diets rich in zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, and antioxidants. Think wild salmon, spinach, and walnuts enhance seminal quality and overall vitality, amplifying retention's effects. But the vessel is more than flesh and blood. It is a dynamic system craving balance. Chronic stress, a hallmark of modern life, disrupts this balance, spiking cortisol and suppressing testosterone. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, your body's stress response system, becomes dysregulated by constant stimulation, be it from deadlines, social media, or pornography's dopamine hits. Porn, in particular, is a biological saboteur. Studies from the Journal of Sexual Research, 2016, show that excessive pornography consumption desensitizes dopamine receptors, mimicking addiction patterns seen in drug use. Each release floods the brain with dopamine, followed by a crash that leaves you craving more, perpetuating a cycle of depletion. Semen retention breaks this cycle, recalibrating dopamine sensitivity. By day 21, practitioners often describe a rewired brain, where natural joys, conversation, nature, creative work spark satisfaction once dulled by overstimulation. Let's explore this through a modern lens. Imagine Sarah, a friend of Alex from part 1, who noticed his transformation and grew curious. A single mother and marketing manager, Sarah's male colleagues often seemed drained, their energy sapped by what she suspected were habits of overindulgence. She encouraged her brother, Tom, to try retention. Tom, a 29-year-old fitness enthusiast, was skeptical. "I'm already healthy," he argued. Yet his frequent gym injuries and irritability suggested otherwise. After 60 days of retention, Tom's recovery time shortened, his sleep deepened, and his skin, once prone to breakouts, cleared. "It's not just physical," he told Sarah. "I feel grounded, like my body's working with me, not against me." His doctor noted improved blood pressure and reduced inflammatory markers, tying these to lower stress and higher testosterone. This grounding effect ties to the autonomic nervous system. Retention shifts you from the fight-or-flight sympathetic state to the rest and restore parasympathetic state. Heart rate variability, HRV, a measure of nervous system balance, improves with retention, as shown in preliminary biofeedback studies. This translates to better stress resilience, deeper sleep, and enhanced recovery. Ancient yogis knew this intuitively, practicing brahmacharya, celibacy or retention, to cultivate prana, life force. Prana, like Jing, is not just energy. It's the intelligence that orchestrates bodily harmony. Modern equivalents include mitochondrial function, where cells produce ATP, the energy currency of life. Retention, by conserving resources, optimizes mitochondrial efficiency, giving you stamina for life's demand. Now, let's address the skeptics. "Isn't ejaculation healthy?" they ask, citing studies on prostate health. Indeed, a 2016 Harvard study suggested frequent ejaculation, 21+ times monthly, may reduce prostate cancer risk. Yet the data is correlational, not causal, and ignores the energetic cost. Retention doesn't mean lifelong abstinence. It's about intentional conservation. Taoists practiced strategic release every few weeks, balancing health with vitality. The key is moderation, not excess. Over-ejaculation, especially via pornography, correlates with oxidative stress and hormonal imbalance, as noted in Andrology, 2019. Retention, conversely, reduces oxidative stress, as antioxidants like glutathione, dependent on zinc, remain abundant. The vessel also thrives on synergy. Retention amplifies the benefits of exercise, diet, and sleep. Weightlifting, for instance, boosts testosterone, which retention sustains. Intermittent fasting, a modern echo of yogic fasting, enhances autophagy, cellular cleanup. complementing retention's resource conservation. Sleep, the ultimate restorer, deepens with retention as melatonin production stabilizes. A 2020 study in sleep medicine linked higher testosterone to improved REM sleep, crucial for memory and emotional regulation. Practitioners often report vivid dreams, a sign of nervous system restoration, echoing tantric teachings of dream yoga. But the body is not an island. It interacts with the environment. Modern toxins, BPA in plastics, pesticides in food, blue light from screens, disrupt hormonal balance, compounding the effects of seminal loss. Retention, paired with detox practices like sweating, saunas, exercise, and hydration, counters these assaults. Ancient texts prescribed herbs like ashwagandha and shilajit to boost ojas and jing. Modern studies confirm ashwagandha reduces cortisol and enhances testosterone, while shilajit improves sperm quality and mitochondrial function. These are not magic pills, but amplifiers of retention's alchemy. Let's return to the oak tree. Its roots, now fortified, draw deeper nourishment. Its trunk stands straighter, its leaves greener. This is your body on retention, a vessel replenished, humming with life. But the journey doesn't end here. The biological foundation sets the stage for psychological transformation, where clarity and willpower forge a new mind. As we move to part 3, we'll explore how retention sharpens your mental edge, breaks the chains of addiction, and builds unshakable confidence. For now, reflect on this. Your body is a sacred crucible, and semen retention is the fire that purifies it. Every day you retain, you reclaim a piece of your vitality, rebuilding the vessel that carries your dreams. The ancients knew this. Science now confirms it. The river is flowing again, and you are its steward. The mind forged anew. Psychological empowerment. The oak tree of your being, its roots now nourished by the reclaimed waters of vitality, stands taller, its branches reaching not just for light, but for clarity. The forest, once shadowed by the haze of lost essence, begins to clear, revealing a path illuminated by focus, willpower, and a quiet confidence that radiates from within. This is the realm of the mind, the crucible where semen retention transforms not just the body, but the very architecture of your psyche. In this third chapter of our cinematic journey, we explore how conserving your sacred essence rewires your mental landscape, forging a mind that is sharp, resilient, and liberated from the chains of modern distractions. Here, ancient wisdom meets modern psychology, revealing semen retention as a key to clarity, discipline, and an unshakable sense of self. Imagine a forge, its fire roaring in the heart of a mountain. Raw iron, once scattered and weak, is heated, hammered, and shaped into a blade of unyielding strength. Your mind, too, is raw material, malleable, yet weighed down by the rust of habit, doubt, and overstimulation. Semen retention is the fire that purifies, the hammer that shapes, the process that hones your thoughts into a tool of purpose. The modern world assaults the mind with relentless noise, endless notifications, the lure of instant gratification, the fog of porn-induced dopamine spikes. These are the thieves that dull your edge, leaving you scattered, anxious, and disconnected from your true potential. Retention, however, is the antidote, a disciplined act of reclaiming your mental sovereignty. Let us begin with a story, one that resonates with the struggles of our time. Meet David, a 27-year-old graphic designer caught in the undertow of modern life. His days were a blur of deadlines, social media scrolling, and late-night binges on pornography that left him hollow. "I couldn't focus for more than 10 minutes, he admitted. "I'd start a project, then end up on my phone, chasing distractions to avoid the emptiness inside." His confidence waned. Conversations felt strained, his creativity stagnant. Like many, David was trapped in a cycle of dopamine depletion, where each release through pornography or mindless habits drained his mental energy, leaving him less equipped to face life's challenges. Then, inspired by a friend's transformation, he embarked on a 90-day journey of semen retention. What unfolded was a revelation, a mind forged anew. By week 3, David noticed a shift. Tasks that once overwhelmed him became manageable. His attention span lengthened. He could sit with a design for hours, ideas flowing like a river unleashed. "It's like my brain woke up," he said. This is the psychological alchemy of retention. Conserving your essence preserves the brain's resources, sharpening focus and amplifying willpower. Modern neuroscience offers insight here. Frequent ejaculation, particularly through pornography, floods the brain with dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward. Each release creates a spike followed by a crash, desensitizing dopamine receptors and mimicking addiction patterns seen in substance abuse. A 2014 study in Psychology of Addictive Behaviors found that excessive pornography use correlates with reduced prefrontal cortex activity, the brain region responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and planning. Retention reverses this, restoring balance to the reward system. Dopamine is the key. When you retain, your brain recalibrates, no longer reliant on artificial highs. By day 14, dopamine receptors begin to resensitize, as noted in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews, 2019. This means everyday activities, reading, conversing, creating, become rewarding again. Practitioners often describe a natural high, where life's simple pleasures spark joy without the need for overstimulation. This is the mind reclaiming its capacity for presence. David, for instance, found himself enjoying walks in the park, noticing details, the rustle of leaves, the warmth of sunlight, that he'd previously ignored. His anxiety, once a constant hum, quieted, replaced by a calm focus that felt almost meditative. This clarity ties to the ancient wisdom of Tantra, which views sexual energy as Shakti, the dynamic force of creation. In tantric practice, retention is not suppression, but sublimation, channeling this energy upward to awaken higher mental faculties. The Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, a 5th century text, describes techniques to transmute desire into awareness, using breath and focus to elevate consciousness. When you retain, this energy, rooted in the sacral chakra, rises through the spine, nourishing the mind. Modern psychology echoes this indirectly. Mindfulness practices, which share roots with tantric meditation, enhance executive function, as shown in a 2018 Journal of Cognitive Enhancement study. Retention amplifies this, creating a feedback loop where discipline breeds clarity and clarity strengthens discipline. Willpower, the cornerstone of mental empowerment, flourishes here. Semen retention is a daily act of saying no to fleeting urges, training the mind to prioritize long-term goals over instant gratification. This mirrors the concept of tapas in yoga, disciplined effort that burns away impurities. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of tapas as the fire that forges self-mastery, aligning action with purpose. For David, this meant resisting the pull of pornography, a habit that had hijacked his evenings. Each resisted urge was a victory, building what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to control your actions. A 2020 study in Journal of Behavioral Medicine linked higher self-efficacy to better stress management and goal attainment. Retention, by demanding consistent discipline, becomes a gym for the mind, strengthening the muscle of will. Let's explore this further through the lens of addiction. Pornography, a modern epidemic, is a psychological trap. Its accessibility, endless streams of content at a click, creates a cycle of compulsive behavior. The brain, seeking novelty, craves escalating stimuli, leading to what researchers call tolerance escalation. A 2016 behavioral sciences study found that frequent pornography users report reduced satisfaction in real relationships, higher anxiety, and lower self-esteem. Retention breaks this cycle, not by shaming desire, but by redirecting it. Instead of chasing external stimuli, you turn inward, cultivating what Taoists call neigong, inner work. This inner work fosters resilience as the mind learns to find fulfillment within rather than without. Consider the story of Priya, a 30-year-old therapist who worked with men struggling with porn addiction. She noticed a pattern. Her clients felt trapped, their confidence eroded by guilt and secrecy. One client, James, a 25-year-old student, shared his struggle. "I'd watch porn for hours, then feel like a failure. I couldn't look people in the eye." Priya introduced him to semen retention, framing it as a path to reclaim his power. By day 30, James reported a newfound confidence. "I started speaking up in class," he said. "I felt present, like I was actually there." This presence is psychological gold, a shift from shame to sovereignty. Eye contact, a simple yet profound act, reflects this. Studies in social cognitive and affective neuroscience, 2017, show that sustained eye contact activates the brain's social reward centers, boosting confidence and connection. Retention amplifies this, as the energy once lost to compulsive release fuels authentic interactions. Confidence is not just social, it's internal. Retention cultivates a sense of inner alignment, what Jungian psychology calls individuation, the process of becoming your true self. Carl Jung described the libido not as mere sexual desire, but as the life force driving all creative and psychological growth. Wasting this force scatters the psyche. Conserving it integrates it. Practitioners often report a magnetic quality, a quiet charisma that draws others in. This is the aura of a mind at peace with itself, no longer fragmented by conflicting impulses. In tantric terms, this is the union of Shiva, consciousness, and Shakti, energy, where clarity and power had to merge. But the path is not without challenges. The modern mind is conditioned for instant gratification, and retention demands patience. The first weeks can bring restlessness as the body adjusts to conserved energy. Ancient texts like the Tao Te Ching counsel embracing this discomfort. In stillness, the muddy water clears. Modern psychology agrees. Exposure to urges without acting on them, known as urge surfing, rewires the brain's reward system, as shown in addiction recovery studies. Tools like journaling, meditation, or even cold showers help navigate this phase. David, for instance, used journaling to track his urges, noting how they peaked around day 10 but waned by day 20, replaced by a steady sense of control. Let's ground this in a practice. Pause for a moment and breathe deeply. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Feel the energy at your core, that primal spark. With each breath, imagine it rising, clearing the fog from your mind. This is a simplified version of the tantric pranayama breath, used to channel sexual energy upward. Modern biofeedback confirms its efficacy. Slow, deliberate breathing lowers cortisol and activates the prefrontal cortex, enhancing focus and emotional regulation. Pair this with retention, and you create a mental environment where clarity thrives. The psychological benefits extend to creativity. A mind freed from compulsive loops has space to dream, to innovate. Consider the Renaissance polymaths, Leonardo, Michelangelo, whose celibacy was often linked to their prolific output. While not all retained for spiritual reasons, their discipline channeled energy into art, invention, and discovery. Today, artists and entrepreneurs practicing retention report similar bursts of inspiration. A 2019 Creativity Research Journal study linked higher testosterone, amplified by retention, to divergent thinking, the ability to generate novel ideas. Your mind, unburdened by depletion, becomes a canvas for creation. Yet, the modern world tests this newfound clarity. Social media, with its curated facades, breeds comparison and insecurity. Retention counters this by fostering self-referential confidence, a sense of worth rooted in your own actions, not external validation. The Taoist concept of Wu Wei, effortless action, applies here. By aligning with your inner rhythm, you act with purpose, not reaction. This is the opposite of the hustle-porn mentality, where burnout masquerades as productivity. Retention teaches you to work from fullness, not desperation. Let's weave in a metaphor. Your mind is a garden, its soil rich but overgrown with weeds, distractions, doubts, addictions. Retention is the gardener, pulling weeds and planting seeds of intention. Each day of discipline is a seed, sprouting into habits of focus and resilience. But weeds resist, old habits creep back. This is where community matters. Ancient traditions emphasized Sangha, spiritual community, for support. Today, online forums and accountability groups serve this role, offering camaraderie for those on the retention path. James, the student, joined such a group, finding strength in shared stories. "Knowing others were fighting the same fight made me feel less alone," he said. As we close part 3, reflect on the mind as a blade, sharpened by retention's fire. The clarity, willpower, and confidence you cultivate here are not ends but stepping stones. The biological vessel, replenished in part 2, now supports a mind forged anew, ready to ascend to spiritual heights. In part 4, we'll explore how this energy awakens the soul, igniting Kundalini and opening the third eye. For now, know this. Every urge you master, every moment you choose presence over escape, you forge a mind that is not just strong, but sacred. The journey continues, and you are its architect. The flame ascends, spiritual dimensions unveiled. The oak tree of your being, its roots now deep, its branches vibrant, stands as a beacon in the forest of your life. The sap, once squandered, now flows upward, a river of fire igniting the canopy with a radiant glow. This is the flame of your spirit, kindled by the sacred practice of semen retention, rising to illuminate the unseen realms of your existence. In this 4th chapter of our cinematic journey, we transcend the physical and psychological, venturing into the spiritual dimensions where your conserved essence becomes a catalyst for awakening. Here, the ancient practices of Tantra, Taoism, and Ayurveda converge with modern spiritual narratives, revealing semen retention as a gateway to Kundalini awakening, third eye clarity, and the realization of your divine human potential. This is not mere discipline. It is the alchemy of the soul, transforming raw energy into a sacred flame that lights the path to your highest self. Picture a mountain, its peak shrouded in mist, touched only by the boldest rays of dawn. At its base, a coiled serpent sleeps, its power latent, waiting for the call to ascend. This is the Kundalini, the primal energy at the root of your spine, revered in tantric traditions as the divine feminine force, Shakti, yearning to unite with Shiva, the consciousness at your crown. Semen retention is the call that awakens this serpent, channeling your sexual energy upward through the chakras, igniting centers of awareness that have long slumbered. The modern world, with its distractions and depletions, keeps this serpent dormant, its potential buried beneath layers of stress, addiction, and disconnection. But when you retain, you stoke the inner fire, and the flame ascends, illuminating the path to spiritual mastery. Let us begin with a story, one that bridges the ancient and the now. Arjun, a 32-year-old entrepreneur, was successful by all outward measures: wealth, status, a bustling social life. Yet inside, he felt a void, a sense of chasing shadows. "I had everything," he said, "but it felt like nothing." Nights spent in fleeting pleasures, casual encounters, pornography, alcohol, left him spiritually parched. A chance encounter with a yogi during a retreat introduced him to semen retention, not as a moral dictate, but as a spiritual key. "Your essence is your life force," the yogi said. "Waste it, and you scatter your soul. Retain it, and you awaken your divinity." Arjun, skeptical but curious, committed to 90 days. What followed was a journey into realms he never knew existed within him. By day 40, Arjun began experiencing vivid dreams, landscapes of light, whispers of intuition guiding his decisions. Meditations, once a struggle, became profound, filled with sensations of warmth rising through his spine. "It was like a current," he described, "like my body was plugged into something bigger." This is the Kundalini stirring, a phenomenon described in the Yoga Kundalini Upanishad as the coiled power that, when awakened, ascends through the Sushumna, the central energy channel, activating the chakras. In tantric practice, semen retention is a cornerstone of this awakening, as sexual energy is the raw fuel for Shakti's rise. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika advises, by conserving the bindu, semen, the yogi attains immortality, for it is the nectar of the divine. Modern science, while not directly studying Kundalini, offers parallels. The nervous system, particularly the spinal cord and brain, is a conduit for bioelectric signals. Retention, by preserving nutrients like zinc and magnesium, crucial for neural function, enhances these signals, creating heightened states of awareness. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Neuroscience linked elevated testosterone, amplified by retention, to increased activity in the prefrontal cortex and amygdala, regions tied to intuition and emotional depth. Practitioners like Arjun report flashes of insight, moments where solutions to problems appear unbidden, as if downloaded from a higher source. This is the third eye, Ajna chakra, beginning to open, granting clarity beyond the physical senses. The third eye, revered in spiritual traditions, is not a literal eye, but a metaphor for inner vision. In Ayurveda, it is linked to Ojas, the luminous essence built through retention, which nourishes the pineal gland, often associated with the third eye. The pineal gland, sensitive to light and melatonin, regulates circadian rhythms and, some hypothesize, higher states of consciousness. Modern stressors, blue light from screens, poor sleep, and seminal depletion calcify this gland, dimming intuition. Retention, paired with practices like meditation and sun-gazing, a tantric technique, revitalizes it. A 2019 Journal of Pineal Research study noted that zinc supplementation, abundant in retained semen, supports pineal function, enhancing melatonin production and dream vividness, key markers of spiritual awakening. Let us weave in the Taoist perspective. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu speaks of returning to the uncarved block, the pure, undivided state of being. Jing, the essence preserved through retention, is the foundation of this return. Taoists practiced Neidan, inner alchemy, circulating Jing through the microcosmic orbit, a meditative pathway from the sacrum to the crown and back. This practice, akin to Kundalini Yoga, transforms sexual energy into Shen, the spirit. Modern practitioners describe this as a lightness of being, a sense of connection to the universe. Arjun, after months of retention and meditation, felt this. "I'd sit by the ocean, and it was like I was part of it, no separation, just peace." This peace is the hallmark of spiritual alignment, where the ego dissolves into the greater self. Tantra teaches that sexual energy is not sin but sacrament, a divine force to be revered. The Vigyan Bhairav. Tantra offers 112 meditations, many emphasizing the transmutation of desire into awareness. One technique involves visualizing sexual energy as a flame at the root chakra, guiding it upward with breath. Try this now. Inhale deeply, imagining a warm glow at the base of your spine. As you exhale, see it rise, touching each chakra: sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. This is not fantasy, but a rewiring of your energetic body, aligning with what neuroscientists call coherence, a state where brainwaves synchronize, fostering calm and insight. The spiritual dimensions of retention extend to purpose. Modern life often feels like a treadmill, endless motion, no destination. Pornography, casual sex, and materialism promise fulfillment but deliver emptiness. Retention shifts this paradigm, turning your focus inward to discover what the Upanishads call Atman, the true self. This discovery is not abstract. It manifests as a sense of mission. Arjun, for instance, redirected his entrepreneurial energy towards social impact, launching a startup to support mental health. "Retention gave me clarity," he said. "I knew what I was here to do." This aligns with Maslow's concept of self-actualization, where basic needs, met through physical and psychological health, give way to higher purpose. But the path is not without shadows. Spiritual awakening can unsettle as dormant energies stir emotions long buried. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali warn of samskaras, latent impressions that surface during purification. For some, retention brings vivid dreams or emotional surges as the psyche processes old wounds. This is where community and guidance matter. Ancient traditions emphasized the guru or sangha, spiritual community, to navigate these waters. Today, mentors, therapists, or online forums serve this role, offering support as you face the dark night of the soul. Arjun joined a meditation group, finding solace in shared experiences, which grounded his awakening. Let's address a modern skepticism. Is this just placebo? The placebo effect is powerful, but retention's spiritual effects are rooted in measurable changes. Elevated testosterone, preserved through retention, enhances mood and confidence, as noted in Psychoneuroendocrinology 2020, creating a fertile ground for spiritual experiences. Meditation, amplified by retention, increases alpha and theta brainwaves, linked to relaxation and intuition. Journal of Consciousness Studies 2018. These are not mystical claims, but biological realities, echoing what yogis described as siddhis, spiritual powers arising from discipline. The spiritual journey also confronts addiction, particularly pornography, which fragments the soul. Pornography externalizes desire, severing it from intimacy and spirit. Tantra, conversely, internalizes desire, making it a bridge to the divine. The Kama Sutra, often misunderstood, emphasizes conscious union over indulgence. Retention aligns with this, fostering reverence for your energy. Practitioners report a shift in how they view relationships, no longer as conquests, but as sacred exchanges. This is the heart chakra opening, where love transcends lust. Let's weave in a metaphor. Your spirit is a temple, its altar the heart, its flame the kundalini. Each act of retention is an offering, purifying the temple, illuminating its chambers. But temples require maintenance. Meditation, breathwork, and devotion are the rituals that sustain this flame. A simple practice. Sit quietly, eyes closed, and chant Om softly, feeling the vibration in your chest. This aligns with Vedic sound therapy, where vibration harmonizes energy centers. Modern studies, Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine 2021 confirmed chanting reduces stress and enhances parasympathetic activity, deepening spiritual connection. The third eye, beyond intuition, opens to synchronicity, moments where the universe seems to align. Practitioners describe knowing things before they happen, from intuitive hunches to vivid premonitions. This is the pineal gland, supported by retention's nutrients, attuning to subtle frequencies. In The Secret of the Golden Flower, a Taoist text, this is the light of the spirit, awakened through Jing preservation. Modern anecdotes echo this. A practitioner named Maya, after 6 months of retention, began noticing signs: books falling open to relevant passages, chance meetings with mentors that guided her path. Yet, spiritual awakening is not an escape from the world, but a deeper engagement with it. The Bhagavad Gita urges action without attachment, a principle retention embodies. By conserving energy, you act from fullness, not lack. This is the divine human potential, a synthesis of body, mind, and spirit, where you become a co-creator with the universe. Our June startup, born from this clarity, reflects this. Work as worship, life as a sacred act. As Part 4 closes, see your flame ascending, touching the stars yet rooted in earth. The biological vessel, Part 2, and psychological clarity, Part 3, have prepared you for this spiritual leap. In Part 5, we'll explore practical tools, breathwork, detox, meditation, to sustain this awakening, culminating in a call to sacred mastery. For now, know this. Your essence is not just physical, but divine, a spark of the infinite. Retention is your devotion, your prayer, your path to the eternal. The Alchemist's Path, Tools for Mastery and Eternal Call. The oak tree of your being now stands radiant, its roots anchored in vital earth, its branches ablaze with the light of spirit. The sap, once lost to the winds of indulgence, now flows as a river of fire, illuminating every facet of your existence, body, mind, and soul. In this final chapter of our cinematic journey, we arrive at the Alchemist's Path, where semen retention becomes not just a practice, but a way of life, a sacred art of mastery. Here, we weave together the threads of ancient wisdom and modern tools, offering practical techniques, breathwork, detox, meditation, and energy transmutation to sustain your transformation. This is the culmination. A call to embrace retention as the forge of your divine potential, crafting a life of purpose, vitality, and awakening. The forest is no longer a place of loss. It is your kingdom, and you are its alchemist. Imagine a forge at the heart of a mountain, its flames eternal, its anvil shaped by eons of intention. In this forge, you are both craftsman and creation, shaping the raw ore of your essence into a masterpiece of existence. Semen retention is the fire that fuels this process, but fire alone is not enough. You need tools, hammer, tongs, bellows, to mold the metal. These tools are the practices that channel your conserved energy, transforming it from primal urge to radiant power. The modern world, with its relentless distractions and temptations, seeks to scatter this energy. But you, the alchemist, wield the tools of discipline, awareness, and devotion to forge a life of sacred mastery. Let us begin with a story, one that grounds this journey in the real. Meet Liam, a 35-year-old teacher who felt trapped in a cycle of burnout. Long hours, endless grading, and a habit of nightly pornography left him drained, his passion for teaching dulled. "I was going through the motions," he confessed. "I'd lost my spark." A colleague, noticing his struggle, shared a book on Taoist practices, sparking Liam's curiosity about semen retention. He committed to 120 days, not just to abstain, but to rebuild. Alongside retention, he adopted breathwork, meditation, and dietary shifts. By day 90, Liam felt reborn. His lessons were vibrant, his students engaged, and his evenings filled with creative writing, a passion he'd abandoned years ago. "It's not just about not releasing," he said. "It's about redirecting that energy into something meaningful." This is the alchemist's path. Practical tools that transform potential into purpose. Tool 1. Breathwork, the bellows of transformation. Breath is the bridge between body and spirit, the rhythm that carries your essence upward. In Tantric and Taoist traditions, breathwork is a cornerstone of energy transmutation, guiding sexual energy from the sacral chakra to higher centers. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika describes pranayama as the control of life force, purifying the nadis, energy channels, and awakening kundalini. Modern science supports this. Slow, deliberate breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol and enhancing heart rate variability, HRV, as shown in a 2020 study in Frontiers in Psychology. This creates a calm, focused state, ideal for channeling retained energy. Practice. The Big Draw, Taoist-inspired breathwork. Find a quiet space, sit upright, feet flat on the ground. Inhale deeply through your nose for 6 counts, imagining a warm glow at the base of your spine. Hold for 4 counts, contracting your pelvic floor muscles, as in Kegel exercises, to draw the energy upward. Exhale slowly for 8 counts, visualizing the energy rising through your spine to your crown. Repeat for 10 minutes daily. This mirrors the Taoist microcosmic orbit, circulating Jing to nourish Qi and Shen. Liam used this daily, noting, "It's like plugging into a power source. My mind clears, and I feel centered." For beginners, start with box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. This stabilizes the nervous system, preparing you for advanced practices. A 2018 Journal of Clinical Medicine study found box breathing reduces anxiety and improves focus, amplifying retention's mental clarity. Consistency is key. 10 minutes morning and evening build a foundation for mastery. Tool 2. Detox, cleansing the vessel. The alchemist's forge requires a clean crucible. Your body, the vessel of your essence, thrives when free of toxins that cloud vitality. Modern life bombards you with endocrine disruptors, BPA in plastics, pesticides in food, blue light from screens that disrupt hormonal balance, compounding seminal depletion. Retention amplifies detox, as preserved nutrients like zinc and magnesium support liver function and cellular repair. Ayurveda's Karaka Samhita emphasizes shodhana, purification, through diet, herbs, and fasting to enhance ojas, the luminous essence of health. Practice. Dietary detox and sattvic nutrition. Adopt a sattvic, pure diet, emphasizing whole foods, vegetables, spinach, broccoli, fruits, berries, pomegranates, nuts, almonds, walnuts, and healthy fats, ghee, avocado. These are rich in zinc, magnesium, and antioxidants, supporting seminal quality and hormonal balance. A 2019 nutrient study linked zinc-rich diets to improve testosterone and sperm health, amplifying retention's effects. Avoid processed foods, alcohol, and caffeine, which spike cortisol and deplete ojas. Liam swapped energy drinks for herbal teas like ashwagandha, which a 2021 Journal of Ethnopharmacology study showed reduces stress and boosts vitality. Incorporate intermittent fasting, a modern echo of yogic fasting, to enhance autophagy, cellular cleanup. Try a 16.8 schedule, 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating, twice weekly. A 2020 cell metabolism study found fasting improves mitochondrial function, boosting energy and complementing retention. Hydration is crucial. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water daily, infused with lemon or cucumber for detox. Sweat through exercise or saunas to eliminate toxins, as sweating supports lymphatic drainage. Per a 2016 Environmental Health Perspectives study. Herbal support. Ancient texts prescribe herbs like ashwagandha, shilajit, and tulsi to enhance jing and ojas. Modern studies confirm ashwagandha lowers cortisol and boosts testosterone. Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, 2015. While shilajit improves sperm quality and energy. Andrologia, 2016. Consult a practitioner for dosing, but a common regimen is 300-500 mg ashwagandha daily and 200 mg shilajit. These amplify retention's benefits, fortifying the vessel. Tool 3. Meditation, the anvil of awareness. Meditation is the anvil where your mind is shaped, transforming scattered thoughts into focused intention. In Tantra, meditation transmutes sexual energy into spiritual awareness, opening the third eye and deepening connection to the divine. The Vigyan Bhairav Tantra offers techniques like focusing on the breath or visualizing energy rising, aligning with retention's upward flow. Modern neuroscience supports this. Meditation increases alpha and theta brain waves, fostering relaxation and intuition. Journal of Consciousness Studies, 2018. Retention enhances this as preserved energy fuels prolonged focus. Practice. Kundalini visualization. Meditation. Sit in a quiet space, spine straight, eyes closed. Breathe deeply, inhaling for 6, exhaling for 8. Visualize a coiled serpent at the base of your spine, glowing with warmth. With each inhale, see it uncoil, rising through your chakras. Root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. As it moves, feel each center awaken. Grounding, creativity, confidence, love, expression, intuition, unity. Spend 15-20 minutes daily, ideally after breath work. Liam found this like a reset button for my soul, enhancing his presence in the classroom. For beginners, try mindfulness meditation. Focus on your breath for 10 minutes, noting thoughts without judgment. A 2021 mindfulness study showed this reduces amygdala reactivity, calming emotional triggers. Pair with retention to amplify willpower as the mind learns to observe urges without acting. Apps like Headspace or Insight Timer can guide beginners, but the true power lies in consistency. Daily practice builds a reservoir of calm. Tool 4. Energy transmutation, the hammer of creation. Retention stores energy, but transmutation channels it into action, creative, physical, or spiritual. Taoists called this Huan Jingbu Nao, returning essence to nourish the brain. Tantra views it as sublimating Shakti into creation. Modern psychology aligns. Redirecting energy from compulsive habits to meaningful pursuits fosters self-actualization per Maslow's hierarchy. This is where retention becomes a lifestyle, not just a practice. Practice. Creative and physical outlets. Engage in activities that absorb your energy, writing, painting, music, or exercise. Liam took up journaling, pouring his thoughts into poetry, which he later shared with students. A 2019 Creativity Research Journal study linked higher testosterone, amplified by retention, to divergent thinking, creative problem solving. Physical exercise, like weightlifting or yoga, transmutes energy into strength. A 2020 Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research study found resistance training boosts testosterone, synergizing with retention. Try 3 45-minute sessions weekly, focusing on compound movements like squats or deadlifts. Yoga, rooted in tantric tradition, is especially potent. Poses like cobra or bridge stimulate the sacral chakra, channeling energy upward. A 2017 International Journal of Yoga study showed yoga improves HRV and reduces stress, enhancing retention's effects. Practice 20 minutes daily, ending with Savasana to integrate energy. Cold showers, a modern biohack, amplify this. Cold exposure boosts dopamine and testosterone, per a 2018 Journal of Physiology study, grounding your energy. Overcoming challenges. The alchemist's path is not without obstacles. Urges peak around days 7 to 14 as the body adjusts to conserved energy. Use urge surfing. Observe the urge without acting, letting it pass like a wave. A 2016 addictive behavior study found this reduces compulsive behavior. Nocturnal emissions, common early on, are natural. Don't see them as failure. Taoists advised sleeping on your side and avoiding heavy meals before bed to minimize them. Community support, like online forums or accountability partners, provide strength, echoing the Sangha of ancient traditions. Pornography, the modern siren, is the greatest threat. Its dopamine spikes sabotage transmutation. Delete apps, use blockers like cold turkey, and replace screen time with creative outlets. Liam set a no screens after 8 p.m. rule, filling evenings with reading and yoga. A 2020 Psychology of Addictive Behaviors study showed reducing porn exposure restores dopamine sensitivity, amplifying retention's benefits. The eternal call. As we near the end, hear the call of the alchemist. Retention is not a destination, but a lifelong path. The Bhagavad Gita urges action without attachment, and retention embodies this. Discipline without obsession, devotion without dogma. Your essence is a sacred flame, and these tools, breathwork, detox, meditation, transmutation, are the bellows, anvil, and hammer that shape it. The modern world tempts you to scatter this flame, but you, the alchemist, choose to tend it, forging a life of purpose. Picture yourself now, standing atop the mountain of your being. The serpent of Kundalini, awakened by your discipline, coils upward, its light merging with the stars. You are no longer bound by fleeting pleasures or societal noise. You are creator, warrior, mystic, whole. This is the divine human potential, what the ancients called siddha, perfected being, and modern seekers call self-actualization. Every day of retention is a step toward this, a vow to your highest self. Let us close with a vision. See the oak tree, its canopy a constellation of light, its roots entwined with the earth's heart. This is you, the alchemist, holding the flame of your essence. The tools are yours. Breathe, cleanse, meditate, create. The path is yours. Walk it with courage. The world awaits your radiance, for in mastering your essence, you master your destiny. This is the eternal call. From semen to spirit, you are the alchemy of self-mastery.